From the moment they meet, Alex and Elle radiate a kind of cautious recognition, the sense that they each understand how thoroughly the other has been shaped by pain, and how carefully they've learned to hide it. Both occupy strange emotional terrain. Alex is haunted not only by past trauma but by the lingering guilt of every case that has ended too late. He carries compassion like a burden. Elle, on the other hand, has learned to survive by mastering silence, the weaponized quiet of someone who knows what happens when she lets people close. Their early interactions are notable not for what is said but for what is held back. Their connection begins almost entirely in the nonverbal, glances that linger half a second too long, the kind of spatial awareness that only happens when two people are constantly tracking each other without realizing it. Before they even kiss, the show subtly frames them as two people who sense home before they can define it. What makes their chemistry compelling isn't the usual TV shorthand of witty banter or overt flirting. Instead, their attraction feels like a gravitational field, slow, incremental, but irresistible. Both are skilled in their domains, and competence tends to be the show's love language. The series repeatedly places them in situations where they witness each other thinking, deducing, caring, and acting. Attraction grows not from physical proximity but from the pieces of themselves revealed through their work. B. The rare comfort of being seen. Alex sees beyond Elle's defenses. Elle sees beyond Alex's practiced calm. They're drawn to each other not because either is easy, but because neither demands ease from the other. They expect truth, not performance. See fear as desire's shadow. What they are afraid of, attachment, vulnerability, loss, becomes interwoven with the very thing drawing them together. Their connection becomes a conflict zone where desire and fear coexist, each intensifying the other. This tension lays the emotional foundation for the significance of their eventual kisses. The show treats their romantic turning points, especially their kissing moments, as character revelations rather than plot beats. Every shift in physical closeness maps onto an internal shift. A. The almost moments. Before they ever kiss, the show builds a quiet architecture of almosts. Hands brushing during a high-stress moment. A shared silence that feels more intimate than dialogue. The slight lean-in that neither acknowledges. These near misses are not simply teasing the audience, they reflect two people whose instincts betray their caution. Emotionally, these moments let the viewer feel the shape of something forming long before either character is ready to name it. B. The first real kiss, a surrender, not an initiation. Their first major kiss does not occur at a moment of triumph or safety. Instead, it arises from a place of emotional exposure, a scene where vulnerability cracks both characters open. This framing matters. For Alex, the kiss represents a brief moment of choosing connection over the emotional isolation he often retreats into. For Elle, it is a transgression against her own learned avoidance. Letting herself want something, someone, is terrifying. The choreography of the kiss, without describing specifics, conveys a mutual surrender. There is hesitation, then certainty, fear, then relief. It's the moment their emotional truths briefly align. See, later kisses deepen the emotional vocabulary. Subsequent kisses shift in tone. One is quiet, almost tentative, a moment of reassurance rather than passion. Another carries the weight of apology and understanding. A third feels inevitable, as though the characters can no longer pretend their feelings are incidental. The key is that each kiss communicates something different, mapped to the emotional landscape of the characters at that moment. Desire evolves into comfort, then into fear, then into possibility. Their physical closeness becomes a form of language they are only just learning to speak. A. Healing isn't linear. Their relationship refuses the neat narrative that romance equals healing. Instead, it portrays healing as intermittent, incomplete, frequently painful. Their connection gives both characters a glimpse of what healing could look like, even though neither knows how to get there yet. B. The risk of attachment. Both characters associate closeness with danger, not because of each other, but because of their histories. This means their romantic progress carries stakes, every moment of tenderness feels like a risk they are barely prepared to take. See trust as the rarest form of intimacy. Their relationship argues that true intimacy isn't kissing, touching, or confessing. It's trust. The show signals that the moments they trust each other, with fears, truths, or vulnerabilities, are far more significant than physical affection. Alex and Elle's romance serves multiple purposes within the show's larger narrative. A. Humanizing the darkness. Cross often explores grim psychological terrain. Their relationship gives viewers a counterbalance, not light, exactly, but warmth. It's a reminder that even within darkness, connection is possible. B. Raising emotional stakes. Their bond raises the stakes of the overarching plot. Danger feels more dangerous when characters have something, or someone, to lose. C. Revealing hidden aspects of their personalities. Elle's softness, Alex's intensity, Elle's humor, Alex's insecurity, their scenes reveal dimensions that would otherwise remain dormant. In many shows, romantic moments are inserted as checkboxes. In Cross, Alex and Elle's moments carry weight because they feel inevitable, the chemistry is clear. Dangerous, both have reasons to avoid vulnerability. Delayed, the pacing respects emotional reality. Character-driven, their growth leads to intimacy, not vice versa. Every time they kiss, it isn't just affection, it's a decision. A leap. A quiet act of rebellion against the emotional armor they've lived with for so long. Beauty of their dynamic. Their romance is beautiful precisely because it is fragile. They want more than they know how to ask for. They care more than they know how to show. They move toward each other, then pull away, then drift back again, as if magnetized. The tragedy is not that they are incompatible, it's that they are each other's first experience of real emotional safety in years, and neither quite knows how to hold it. Written in silences. Alex and Elle are not a conventional TV couple. They are a study in quiet, in yearning, in the unspoken spaces between two wounded people trying, tentatively, bravely, to let themselves feel again. Their kisses aren't sparks, they're confessions. Their tension isn't friction, it's recognition. Their relationship isn't a subplot, it's a mirror, reflecting who they are when they stop running from themselves. And that is what makes their romance one of the most compelling emotional threads of Cross for Alex and Elle. Subtext isn't an accessory to their relationship, it is their relationship. They are two people who have learned to survive by saying as little as possible, so their real communication happens through their physical distance from each other almost always mirrors their emotional state. When trust builds, they stand closer without noticing. When fear spikes, they instinctively create space. When desire overwhelms them, they circle each other like the room isn't big enough to hold what they're feeling. This isn't flirting, it's self-defense disguised as restraint. Their sustained eye contact is one of their strongest communication tools, sometimes loaded with tension, sometimes with softness, sometimes with a plea neither can voice. The intensity isn't romanticized, it's revealing. With others, they avert their gaze. With each other, they can't. Their quiet moments, the stillness between spoken lines, often feel louder than dialogue. It's the stillness of two people who don't want to move because moving might break something fragile. The show deliberately builds symbolic motifs around their connection. A few of the strongest include, most of their early interactions happen in shadow, dim rooms, night scenes, hallways, quiet corners. This isn't coincidence. Shadow symbolizes their guardedness, the parts of themselves they are reluctant to expose. As their bond deepens, their key emotional shifts begin happening in brighter spaces. The gradual movement toward light mirrors their growing willingness to be seen, where their words lie, their hands tell the truth. A hand on a shoulder becomes an apology. A shared touch becomes permission. A hesitant reach becomes a confession. By the time their kisses occur, the audience has already watched an entire vocabulary built through touch. Several of their important emotional beats, again, not recreating scenes, occur around doorways, entrances, Transitional spaces. These symbolize liminality,